Welcome to the channel where we turn dreams into reality. Are you ready to crush your goals and create the life that you've always wanted in 2025? Then you are in the right channel. Hi everyone, my name is Ichichi. Welcome back to my channel if you are a returning subscriber, and if this is the first time that you're stumbling upon this channel, you are absolutely welcome. I'm so happy that you have found the time to join us here today. Please do not make it your last joining us. My voice is a bit raspy, but I'm going to try as much as possible to speak out so you all can hear me. Today, we are going to dive very deeply into all things goal settings related, mindset shifts, practical steps that you can take to have a phenomenal year in 2025. Guys, I want us all to succeed in 2025. Gone are those days where we just enter into the year and just carry on like with business as usual. We're not going to do that in 2025. So get your pens, get your writing materials, whether it's your notepad, your jotter, whatever it is that you want to use to take notes, because I am here to pack you up with very useful tips that we would start trying from right now. So before we get into the crux of this video, before we actually get started, hit the subscribe button and let's get right into business. Forget about that wish list that you've set in 2025. Here's what you need to have an exceptional year in this 2025. Yes, I know that people have different methods of doing things. People have goals that are peculiar to them. Visions are different. Your goals are unique and different, but these tips are the tips that you can actually imbibe. Like, they are useful across the board to help you stay focused, to help you have such a great year that you'll be wondering like, oh my God, I wish I had known these things like earlier on. So it's not too late, even though we're in February, it's not too late in case you haven't already started this. It's actually the time, the right time. Whenever you stumble upon information, it's okay, it's your time. So make good use of this opportunity. Engage with this particular video, and you're welcome, because I already know in the comment section you will be telling me thank you. So no problem. I already have you covered, okay? Be clear. Clarity and specificity cannot be overlooked. It's okay to dream up the big picture, but how about you being clear? Be clear in such a way that you know that, okay, if you have this big picture of this dream that you want to accomplish, you have to set clear pathway for you to be able to achieve it. For example, you cannot say, oh, I want to be financially independent. Everyone wants to be financially independent, but how do you go about being financially independent? That's where being clear comes into play. In the place of clarity, another thing that is important to note is asking yourself why you want to achieve these goals. What we also do not want in 2025 is having to set too many unrealistic goals, or having to set too many goals such that it becomes a struggle for you to actually stay committed. The goal is not to get overwhelmed. The goal is to ensure, or as much as possible, getting close to achieving those dreams, getting close to having a phenomenal year in 2025. This brings me to my next point. Now, while we've emphasized that clarity cannot be overlooked, the next thing towards being clear is to actually get granular. Remember how we gave that example of wanting to be financially independent? How do you go about being financially independent? This is where you have to make clear, actionable steps. There's no room for being vague about any of your goals. this is where you actually have to break them down into smaller chunks. For example, if you say you want to be financially independent, you could say to yourself as an actionable step, I am going to buy only the things that I need. So if you are someone that spends a lot of money on things that you do not necessarily need, it's more like a want. This is one good way to say, okay, in this area, I can actually cut my cost and save up more money. You can actually say, okay, I am going to work towards raising, for example, between the first quarter of 2025, I'm going to work towards raising, if it's 300,000 naira, if it's $5,000, whatever it is, write it down. Now, how do you go about wanting to achieve or raising 5K? If it's $5K, if it's 300,000 naira, you see how like it boils down to you really breaking down things. You really have to make your brain think. What are those things that you can do? Like I mentioned before, all your goals are peculiar to you. They are unique to you. You know your situation. You know what's a priority for you. So get granular. While you have dreamt up that big picture, be clear about it, and then start breaking them into smaller actionable steps. That's where the real job lies. Getting granular, actually. That is where the work is, guys. Trust me. But once you're able to figure it out, it actually makes the rest of the process even easier, less daunting, and sets the roadmap for your progress. You see how we are actually making that trajectory into something beautiful? Guys, I hope you're taking notes. So honestly, I really hope you're taking notes. Where it is possible, quantify your goals and measure your progress. You don't want to just set your goals, get into actionable steps, and you're not checking in. You're not checking in like to see your progress. Now, measuring your progress is also peculiar to you based on the type of goal that you're setting, based on other factors. So for every particular goal, know that timelines are different. It's also important to know what these timelines would be for you. Personally, I love timelines a lot because they keep me in check. Now, I will touch more on timelines later in this video, but going forward, timelines are so essential because it helps you to track your progress. It helps in times of, say for instance, if you feel like you are struggling in that particular goal, because you have actually set that timeline, you can actually take a step back, re-strategize, and come back all within that timeline. And if you are actually exceeding the timeline, it's also okay, but just make sure that there's some sort of timing to what you are doing. It curbs the potential for you to procrastinate. It is also a good measure point for you when you are considering other factors that would tie into that goal. Another beauty of setting these timelines is that it creates the platform, the potential for you to get incremental. Now, getting incremental means simply building up on the things that you have actually put in place, because I know that when you are able to get clear with your goals, set these actionable steps, break them down into smaller chunks, they even become much clearer to you. And so therein lies the potential for you to pick up on these things and build up on it, right? We are not trying to change our entire life in a sweep in 2025, oh guys. That's not the point of this video. But I'm saying to you that goal setting is such a beautiful thing that when you're able to master it, it actually does a lot of good for you. Like, you will just see yourself progressing. Even the Bible says faith without works is dead. Now, this is the point of that video where you need to do the work of actually manifesting those dreams into reality. So again, get incremental. Yes, I know we have said all of these beautiful things, but there's also one thing that I really want to emphasize on, and that's being honest with yourself. In the course of setting all of these actionable steps, getting granular, putting timelines, and the potential for increments, right? You, my friends, have to be honest with yourself. There's no one that is perfect. We do have our limitations. The beauty of putting all of these things into perspective is that you recognize what you are struggling with, and then at that point where you recognize the challenges that you could potentially face with achieving your goals, therein also lies the ability for you to decide or re-strategize on how you can overcome those challenges. So the way I see goal setting, it's more or less actually having a conversation with yourself. You are actually talking to yourself, testing yourself, and the end goal is to produce the better the better version of yourself. Remember, the end goal is to keep reinventing yourself. So be honest, guys. Commitment and motivation. Guys, for the first time in 2024, I tried something differently. I'm gonna link up that video for you up here. Please do well to engage in this video so you kind of get the gist about why I am making this video today. It did work for me tremendously well in 2024, and that is why I am taking the time to share these steps with you. On this channel, I don't gatekeep. To help me stay motivated and committed, I tried something called the vision board. A lot of you probably might have heard of that, but for the first time in 2024, I tried that. Have you guys ever wondered if vision boards actually work? They worked for me, and I already have done my vision board for 2025. What this vision board does is that it reinforces your commitment to stay true to your goals. Like every time you see it, whether you put it as your screensaver, as your display picture on your laptops, like every time you take a look at it, it reinforces your, like there's just something that it does to you. It's such a high to your goals. Like it's a beautiful thing if you have vision boards. If you haven't tried it, please try it for the first time. It doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing, trust me. It doesn't have to be super fancy bougie. You can actually have it on a physical whiteboard. You can actually have it in e-form, but however you want to present it, however it works best for you. I cannot overemphasize the power of a vision board. The name vision, it is so powerful because the moment you're seeing it, like it puts you on track. So that's one way to stay committed and motivated towards having that phenomenal year that we're looking to achieve in 2025. Next point for consideration is seek help. Get help. There is no shame in identifying with like minds. There's no shame with networking. Building a community of like minds is such a great way to help you stay focused. It's more like an extra layer of motivation. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, right? So if you're surrounded in the midst of people who are thinking in the same line as you are thinking, who have the same mindset as you, it helps you, it builds that drive, like you are just focused and staying true to your goals for the year. So it's beautiful to go on networking dates, meet with people. They don't even have to be your friends and family, to be honest. An accountability partner is a great way to keep you in check, to just touch base with you every now and then to see how you are doing on your progress report. So try it. Another beauty of having an accountability partner is that it solidifies or accelerates your growth in ways that you probably did not even imagine. There's that room for having continuous learning and growth. So when you have people of like minds and maybe mentors even, you are on the right path, trust me. Another important factor to note is get courageous, guys. I know sometimes we probably can struggle with things such as the imposter syndrome. Don't ever believe that lie where you have to think that you're not good enough. Don't put yourself in that box. As a matter of fact, guys, do it afraid. Yes. What's the worst thing that can happen? If you fail, you get up and keep trying till you get it right. It's better that you have failed in doing one thing and you got it right the next time or even the next couple of times than you failed something and you even stopped trying. You didn't achieve anything at the end of the day. You just closed off a potential opportunity that can put you in places that you never could have dreamt about being in. So get courageous. Don't let the voices in your head tell you that you're not good enough. Don't feel small. Don't think of yourself in a small-minded capacity. Don't put yourself in a box. I'm gonna share a little backstory. Years back, I used to work with this organization, and one of those times we had like this team exercise where we were asked to come up with ways where we can do more with less, right? So it was such a beautiful time working on that project with my team, but there was a light bulb moment for me when one of my colleagues actually made that presentation. In summary, she made a statement that is living rent-free in my head. She said, "There is no such thing as being put in a box." She said, "We would not think outside the box this year. As a matter of fact, we will shatter the box such that our imaginations, like the things that we have to do, there's no inhibition." And yes, that presentation was so beautiful, but my take home from that statement was that if you continue to confine yourself, if you continue to think small of yourself, you are actually limiting your potential that can spring forth, that can manifest into beautiful things. And when she said break outside the box, like we're not even going to have a box, that was the heights for me, guys. That was my light bulb moment with that conversation, with that presentation. That was my take home. So what that has taught me over the years is that so long as your mind can think it, you can achieve it. So long as that thing is in line with the will of God, there's no stopping. Like, continue to think about it, continue to work towards it. It will happen. I cannot even tell you guys the number of things that I have set out to do. Like, it feels so huge, and some of them, like, it didn't even take the way I was thinking about it. Like, if I had confined myself, I wouldn't be where I am today. So get courageous. Don't let any person, or don't let your mind play tricks on you and then you feel like, oh, this is too cumbersome for me, I can't do it. This is not the era of I cannot. This is the era of I can and I will, so help me God. Okay, so when you have this mindset of courage, like, it pushes you even harder. Like, you are able to settle down and start running. Even if you make a mistake, stand up, dust yourself, and get moving. It is from making bold moves that big changes are birthed. Would you be taking that leap in 2025, even if you're scared? Let me know in the comments. Before I wrap up with this video, guys, I'm going to leave you with one pro tip, and that is pray. The Bible in Proverbs chapter 16 verse 3 says, when you commit your ways before the Lord, He will establish your path. If you're gonna have that phenomenal year that we have talked about in this video, then you have to pray about it. This Bible verse is so powerful that I see it as a commitment. Like, it's not a passive, yeah, I'm just letting you know. It's active in the sense that you are recognizing that God's wisdom and sovereignty outweighs your own. So therefore, you are relying on Him 100% for Him to help you. That is the point of prayer. You can do all of these things, guys, but I feel like if you're not praying about it, you probably will be running in circles. Those actionable steps that we've talked about, like all of those things that we have talked about earlier. He gives you the wisdom for you to put all of that in place. He would connect you with opportunities such that because you have written all of these things down, when they come, instantly you recognize that this is your Kairos moment for you to connect. So guys, pray without ceasing. I cannot overemphasize this. I hope you have actually been blessed by this video and you have learned a thing or two. You found this very inspirational. Let me know in the comment section what particular points or even couple of points that stood out for you and what you'll be trying in 2025. If you've already started your goal setting, if you finished it, what additional tips can you share with the rest of community members on this channel for us to learn from each other? Thank you once again for staying to the end. If you've actually stayed to the end of this video, then you found it useful. So I just like to think about it in that light. I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye.